You have a movie that plays in your head. It's a highlight reel of your most embarrassing moments. That time you tripped walking up the stairs in front of everyone. The time you gave a presentation and your voice cracked. The time you had a piece of spinach in your teeth for hours and only realized it when you got home. The memory probably makes you physically cringe, because you can still feel the heat of 100 pairs of eyes locked on you, judging you. Now, what if I told you that in reality, almost no one noticed? And the few who did forgot about it 30 seconds later while they started worrying about their own embarrassing moments. This isn't a comforting lie to make you feel better. It's a psychological reality. In those moments, you weren't the star of a social disaster movie. You were simply a victim of a powerful brain glitch that creates a lifetime of needless anxiety. This is the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect is our brain's massive overestimation of how much attention other people are paying to us. We systematically believe that the social spotlight shines more brightly on us than it actually does. The root of this glitch is our natural, unavoidable egocentrism. We are all the main character in our own movie. We experience the world from a first-person perspective, acutely aware of our every action, thought, and feeling. Our internal world is vivid, loud, and constant. Because our own experience is so intense, we find it incredibly difficult to believe that we are just a background character, or even less, a blurry extra in everyone else's movie. We project our own self-awareness onto others, assuming that they must be just as focused on our appearance and behavior as we are. This is amplified by another bias called the illusion of transparency, which is our tendency to believe that our internal states, like our anxiety, our excitement, our guilt, are leaking out and are obvious to everyone around us. You feel intensely nervous during a speech, so you assume everyone can see your heart pounding. In reality, they probably just see someone giving a speech. This feeling that you're the lead actor on everyone else's stage feels true. But is it real? A group of psychologists decided to put it to the test with one of the most memorable and hilarious experiments in modern psychology. In 2000, psychologist Thomas Gilovich and his colleagues designed a brilliant experiment to measure the spotlight effect. They took a university student, and just before they were about to walk into a classroom full of their peers, they asked them to put on a large, slightly embarrassing t-shirt with a giant picture of the singer Barry Manilow on it. The student then had to walk in, sit down, and endure the perceived judgment of their classmates. After they left the room, the researchers asked the t-shirt wearer a simple question. Out of all the students in that room, what percentage do you think noticed the Barry Manilow shirt? On average, the students predicted that about 50% of the room, half the people, had noticed and registered their embarrassing attire. Then, the researchers went back into the classroom and asked the other students, "Did you notice the t-shirt of the person who just walked in late?" The reality: only about 23% of the students had actually noticed, less than half of what the wearer predicted. The internal spotlight of shame and embarrassment felt blindingly bright to the person wearing it, but to the outside world, it was barely a flicker. Most people were too busy in their own heads, worrying about their own spotlights, to even notice. This experiment is funny, but its implications are profound. This glitch is a primary engine of social anxiety. The fear of being judged in social situations, at a party, in a meeting, at the gym, is massively inflated by this effect. We spend days worrying about a slightly awkward joke we told, a comment that didn't land, or a clumsy moment. We play these moments back on a loop, convinced that they are seared into the memory of everyone who witnessed them. The reality, proven by the Manilow experiment, is that most people didn't even notice, and those who did have long since moved on. This directly impacts our willingness to take risks. The spotlight effect creates an intense fear of failure. We hesitate to start a new hobby, to speak up in a meeting, to publish our creative work, or to start a business because we are terrified of everyone seeing us fail. But who is everyone? The truth is that the audience we imagine is largely a fiction. Most people are not following our journey with a critical eye. They are busy navigating their own. By overestimating the social consequences of failure, we often fail to even try. So, we are living in a self-imposed prison, where the bars are made of imagined judgment from an audience that isn't even there. The good news is, once you understand the code behind this glitch, you can learn to dim the spotlight. As promised, here is a simple mental switch you can flip to instantly reduce this anxiety. You cannot stop the initial feeling of self-consciousness from arising. It's a deeply ingrained default. But you can consciously choose what to do next. The antidote to the spotlight effect is to deliberately shift your focus from internal self-awareness to external observation. I call this flipping the spotlight. When you walk into a room and feel that jolt of anxiety, that feeling of everyone is looking at me, your spotlight is pointing inward. You are intensely focused on your own feelings, your own appearance, your own actions. To break the loop, you must consciously grab that spotlight and shine it outwards. Instead of thinking about yourself, get curious about the world around you. Ask yourself questions. What is that person wearing? What kind of music is playing? What are those two people talking so animatedly about? By becoming an observer instead of the observed, you achieve two things. First, you distract your brain from its self-critical loop. Second, and more importantly, you ground yourself in reality. You quickly realize that no one is looking at you. They are all absorbed in their own conversations, their own thoughts, their own phones. They are all the main characters in their own movies. By flipping the spotlight, you are replacing a paranoid illusion with objective data. You are seeing the world as it is, not as your anxious brain projects it to be. The great liberating truth that the spotlight effect reveals is this: you are not as important as you think you are. And that is wonderful news. It means you have the freedom to make mistakes, to try new things, to be awkward, to fail, and to learn in public. The judgment you fear is mostly a phantom. The audience is imaginary. Realizing that you are just an extra in most people's movies is the key to getting over your stage fright. It gives you permission to stop performing and start living. Dimming that internal spotlight allows you to see the world and your place in it with far more clarity and far less fear. This mental glitch is something we all experience. What's one situation where you felt the spotlight effect most intensely? Share your story in the comments below. It helps us all realize how universal this feeling is. And if this video helped you feel a little less anxious and a little more free, hit the like button to share this liberating insight with others. Thanks for stepping out of the spotlight with us today.